Well, it seems that my videos on Milsurp values, collecting and that are popular. So I'm going to start creating some videos about collecting Milsurp. And this video is going to be about the Luger disaster. Okay? Now, a lot of you guys thank me for giving you information and stuff and advice on things. But this here is a tale of a disaster. Okay? The individual who purchased this gun at an auction bought this gun. This gun was in disrepair. And he's come to me and asked me to help him try to straighten out some things with this because of, being a machinist for 40 years and an avid collector, I kind of know how to find and source parts. Or if not, attempt to make them, which with a Luger is not a simple task. And it's kind of like the guy did me a big favor. It was all at this one auction, but he also made some really serious and critical mistakes in the purchase of this item at auction. Okay? And I'm going to go over that with you guys and try to give you some advice on how not to fall into the same problem. So, our story starts with an auction I went to. I was at the auction that this pistol was purchased at. It was an estate auction. There was an assortment of guns, Milsurp guns, just regular commercial firearms, newly manufactured, whatever. That is where I got my Argentine carbine from, that auction. There was this Luger, a couple P38s, some other stuff, but also the auctioneer's Mickey Mouse card reader failed, so it was cash only, so that limited what I could purchase. And the individual who bought this gun, when I bought the Argentine and a couple other things, I asked him to float me some money to pay in cash, which he did. He's not that close of a friend. I've known him for years, but he loaned me the money. I got my gun out of hock, and I drove 2 or 3 miles down to the ATM, come back, and gave him his cash back. So I kind of owe this person kind of a personal favor. So he was looking at things, I forget what he bought there, but he bought this gun. Now, the problem with this Luger, when I was looking over all the different things, I did pick this firearm up, and basically the barrel lever and the side plate fell off in my hands. So whenever I see something like this in an auction, and there's numerous pieces I have to kind of preview and decide what I want, I just put the damn thing back down on the table and left it alone. But lo and behold, a few weeks later, I wasn't quite sure what my friend purchased. He bought this gun. And like I said, I picked it up new. It wasn't in good shape. Parts were falling off the firearm when I picked it up. So I just put it back down. That was the end of it. Walked away. Didn't look at it closely or anything. Now, and this was a weird collection. There was some good stuff there, but there was a lot of real gnarly junk there. There was a K98 with a shot-out bore because they shoot corrosive ammo and don't clean it. There was a Springfield rifle, same deal, bad bore, corrosive ammo. There was a couple decent P38s, but I knew that if I got into a bidding war with somebody, they were going to go up there, and I've owned several of them in the past. So, you know, but springing over a cape from one, yeah. So, also there was the infamous Blue Sky import M1 Garands, M1 carbines, which everyone knows, just stay away from them. I didn't even pick them up and look at them. So I ended up with the one piece. There may have been a few other handguns there that I may have wanted, but didn't have the funding. There also, I noticed, this is a very interesting collection of firearms. Some of the stuff was pretty trashy, some of it was decent, and there were several firearms that were in disassembled state. In other words, this was one. There was, I don't know if it was a SIG or something, or a Luger pistol that was in a box, but it was all disassembled with all parts and pieces just thrown into the plastic box that it came in or something. So very strange. And when you see something like that, you just stay the hell away from it, okay? Because there's no way for you to try to reassemble the gun or know if anything's broken or damaged or whatever. So, a couple months later, or a couple weeks later, my friend came over and we got together and we were talking. And he showed me some guns he got, and he showed me this thing. Now, after I got a closer look at this pistol, what this is has a 1916 date on the receiver, but this is a Waffen-marked barrel from a, post-World War I Luger. And if you can look and see, the frame is pitted, okay? These grips he has since replaced. The grips almost had the knurling wore off on there. And Einfurt toggle, and this toggle is in rough shape, okay? Here. And all the parts are worn, screwed up, and I believe somebody painted this frame with some sort of an enamel paint. It's very bright, glossy, and you can see when racking the toggle back, they've chipped the paint off the back of the frame. Okay. So what this gun was somebody took some stripped parts, probably took this upper part, and they didn't really refinish it. It's not bad. None of the numbers match on this. And it looks like there's some new bits and pieces. The toggle pins, the one here, the knee joint, and the one in the back is worn so bad that when you slide this off, it falls right out. Usually they hang in there pretty good. So what I believe this was is someone took a bunch of Luger parts and tried assembling a gun. And I mean, what's really sad is there's no rifling in the bore of the barrel. It's just rusted and corroded out. I don't even know if the chamber's visible in there or whatever. But there's no visible rifling in this barrel. It's a shot out barrel, or it got so rusted that when they tried to grind the rust out, it ate away the riflings, kind of Royal Tiger type of stuff here. And when I asked them, I said, why did you buy this gun? Well, Lugers go for 1.5 to 1.7K, so I thought maybe it needed a little work, okay? And he paid like 7 bills for this thing or more. I don't know. So, now this is not, you can call this guy a beginning collector, but he's older than I am. Okay, so this isn't like somebody just turned 21, doesn't know what they're doing and that. And he showed me several other pieces that he bought. And what he did, he had another Luger that was nickel-plated post-war. Now, whenever you take a firearm and it's been refinished, okay, this is a rule of thumb with Milsurp guns. Say there's a nice Luger, it's in halfway decent shape, but somebody went and say it was done years ago and it's a really great nickel plating job. The gun looks fantastic. Refinishing a gun, be it putting a nickel plate or chrome or rebluing it, okay, doing that, you reduced the value of the pistol by 50%. That was a rule of thumb. Somebody told me that years ago. So if you got a refinished gun, if the gun's worth, say, $2,000 in original condition, okay, when you refinish it, you knock that down to $1 max value. Okay, you take 50% off the value of the gun. Now, and I noticed he was showing me some of his collection. Just about all the firearms have either been chromed, nickeled, or something like that. And he is still paying, because he wants these old World War II pistols, he's paying some money for them, which is not a good thing to do, okay? If you really wanted a Luger, a nice Luger, you know, choke up the damn money. But another thing, know what you're looking at. And this is another problem people have, okay? Like I said, this thing was in such bad shape, I just picked it up, parts fell off it, I set it down. If you look at the end of the muzzle, okay, you see that there's wrench marks where they tighten this down. And another thing, like I said, you know, Lugers are kind of easy. 1916 barrel date, and then over here, Waffen acceptance mark with a, you know, the bird with swastika. Not a good deal. Now, he brought me this gun back, and he's, you know, he brought it to me once, and I told him, you know, this is a bad deal. What happened is half the parts are missing in this thing. And when he put the new grips on and tried to get the safety to go down, the safety would go to that area there. And if you notice how the safety works on this pistol, right in there, the little part of it, that's as low as it would go. I had to go and modify these new grips. I had to carve some stuff out of there to get this to work. Now what happens with that safety not going all the way down, okay, is when you pull the toggle back, alright, I'll do it with this hand. When you pull the toggle back, it won't go back any further because that's in the way, alright. And other than taking the grip off, there was no way to push this up. So when he showed this to me, he'd yank on this and the locking lever would drop forward because the spring was missing, and I'll show you what other wonderful things he did. The spring was missing, so this would drop down from the shock, the side plate would pop off, and the whole top of the pistol would slide forward, okay, whenever you tried to operate it. Now what happened was the little spring was missing inside the frame, and if you look closely you can see where somebody put stake marks on that without replacing the spring to close it, and then they staked the piss out of the other side to hold it in place without the spring. Okay. So what I had to do was cut that down, get it to where the safety would go up, and then now we got that clear. I had to get the spring to put in to the locking lever here, and now that just won't, if you shake the pistol, that just won't flop down and the side plate fly off. So now I can rack the pistol back. Yeah, see, it won't lock back because inside the device, or the part that rides up on a spring and would grab that and hold it open in the last shot, is missing. And that's expensive. That's almost $140 to replace these parts. And see, I dropped this mag down. If we push the magazine all the way up now, pop it back, it catches on the magazine, but now you cannot draw the magazine out unless you put pressure on the toggle. It's a nightmare. Pressure on the toggle, press the mag release, and try to yank the mag out, which I think I may be damaging it. Hold on, I have to get this apart. Finally, I got it out. And yes, you're putting a strain, on the mag. But yeah, this thing, and even if you did shoot it, there's no bore. I don't have a 9mm slug to do, you know what, let me get one and we'll do the bore check. Okay, so we're going to go with the bullet, and well, maybe it will engage it. Maybe it's just so corroded I can't see the rifling. I really wouldn't recommend shooting it, but it does pass. It doesn't go up to the brass itself. So what is the moral of the story here? If you're going to get into collecting, know something about the pieces that you're buying. Okay, especially high dollar items like Lugers, Winchesters, KR98s, things like that. If you're going to buy something up there, all right, know something about it. Be able to at least tell if the gun has been, jerked around. I mean, with Lugers and that, you got the numbers. A lot of these older collectible guns, just a quick visual and the fact that none of these numbers matched is a giant red flag that, you shouldn't bid more other than for maybe parts and stuff. 2, 3 C notes at the most. I mean, this is just a disaster and a mess. Unfortunately, I think, my friend put an awful lot of money into this project, and it's nothing but a nightmare. And he did admit to me, he goes, I paid way too much, I screwed up. And I told him, I corrected these 2 things, and I told him it's not worth putting more money into it and that. But it's a lesson to be learned. There's a lot you can take from this. Know what you're doing. Do some research. Don't get in a panic at an auction or something. Oh, this is going for a low price. Well, maybe there's a reason nobody bid this up. And really, I know it's tough being a collector and laying out a lot of money for good material. But unfortunately, in this hobby, that's the way it's going. You don't see people importing batches of Lugers. And if they do, they, probably come out of a riverbed or something. So it's a tough call, but I just thought it'd make an interesting story for you guys. And, a lot of lessons to be learned here. And I'll have more coming. So thank you for watching and stay tuned.